Well, Seán and Misha Caitlín, and that's that for the moment. That's enough. If it's not too much. He's
Centurion.
101. On his Seán.
What?
Keith is saying.
Misha, yeah.
Sure. Yeah. He's 101. And I'm no Shaw. I'm 97.
So we're married here since 1952. I suppose we're now at the age where I suppose Dean's Grange Cemetery is the next appointment, but we'll wait until we're called in any case. You have to.
Don't mind
and
I don't agree with that. I always look forward to the good. Because we're all sure of the other day, so we let forget about it.
Yeah.
And thank God for being as well as we are, even though we are no longer as young as we were.
She has never been ill in her life.
No, never.
Never missed a day from anything.
I never
even
missed
in
a day
childbirth
from school
and so on.
nor a day from work. No.
Even though she has an appetite like a bird. And
yeah, I don't eat much.
No, she eats nothing, and she's, as I say, I don't know how her bones are staying together, but they are. I didn't lose my career. I hope when I do it, the day I lose my career accident, I lose myself. We met in the Gaelic League in Cocooned in about 1945. I started teaching in the later in 1943, and Caitlín was working in the bank. And I don't know whether she fell in love with me or not, but I can tell you she fell in love with my money, because my pay at that time was huge.
And
it was £11 a month.
And was what?
£11 a month.
But that wasn't huge. Far from it.
That's the joke.
I was working in the bank and I had more money than Seán when we got married.
We had 5 teachers in the family, and they're all retired now except Mara, who is in Brussels, in the European school in Brussels, and she's over there for 32 years about, I think. And one of her past pupils when she was teaching here in Dublin was Mary Lou MacDonald, and she taught her in the afternoon and the evening as well, and she taught her. She had her in a debating society, and as far as I can remember. So that's Maud.
Oh my God.
She's waiting now to get home, but she can't very well move until she gets permission because of the coronavirus. The 2 of us are only left in the house now. All the rest of the 5 children are in their own place. But every morning, 1 or 2 of them come here and they stay for the day. COVID-19 didn't mean an awful lot to us in this respect. We weren't going out to work. We didn't have a job. We didn't have to face it every day. We were in our own cosy house, if you like, and therefore it didn't mean an awful lot to us. If we looked after ourselves, if we minded ourselves, we'd be all right. That's the way I looked at it in any case. There was no use in starting worrying about it. You just did your best, and that was that.
Oh yes, well you see, I didn't understand what it was, and all I do when things like that happen, I start praying because I have friends up in heaven. No, seriously, I mean, I have great faith, thank God. But times change and people get used to what happens, and when they're not able to do much about it, they only have to accept it and hope for the best.
I didn't intend to buy a house with a big garden, but this is fairly big-sized garden. My favourite flower outside be A fuchsia, because you see I come from West Kerry and the fuchsias were there, and there are many different kinds of fuchsias. It's not the best flower in the garden, but I love fuchsia, I love hydrangeas, I love geraniums. I could spend a whole day in the garden at my ease, and I'd be content in the evening, and I'd go to bed and have a fine sleep. That now is what the garden does for me. It makes me relax. I'd say this big secret in marriage is keep your mouth shut most of the time.
No, I mean, you have to make the most of it and give and take and tolerate each other, because there's none of us perfect.
And sure, it's like any marriage, I suppose. We'd have a little
ups and downs.
Ups and downs, and sure. What would the world be like without ups and downs? I mean, if things were always in marriage, if they were, for God's sake, marriage wouldn't be worth the trouble.
The trouble, our trouble is not what might be included or thought to be the children, because they're our joy and a blessing. My favourite, no, not my favourite thing, but one of the good things was I married a man from the Gaeltacht.
My favourite thing about Caitlín, well, I can't say, because
he daren't.
She.
I was a bad cook. That was one thing.
I'll tell you this. She's a walking saint.